first step towards creating this reinvestment community is to do proper research. This research contains many aspects that are both advantageous to the employee and the employer. The whole process obviously starts with the employer wanting a new employee. This employer will obviously have a list of requirements that the employee needs to meet. My job is then obviously to find out what these requirements are so that I can go and find the right people to fill the employer's needs. But obviously that can't be the only approach, because there are already many companies that do this. My approach is also as a representative for the employee. My job is then to find out what the employees want, what they need to stay happy and to function properly. So the research part is where it gets interesting for me. I get to visit universities and other educational institutions to find potential employees for the Dutch market. But the research part requires much more than just visiting universities. The object of the research element is to find out what is needed from both employer and employee, and to find the best possible middle ground to accommodate both these parties. The idea here is to have the employers meet the requirements of the employees and not the other way around. The recruitment phase is where I really have to get to work. I have to go and visit universities. I have to advertise, and I have to find the right people for the right jobs. The advertising will be done on websites like Facebook and also on local job advertising websites. Another aspect of the recruitment possibility is to start an exchange program with universities in other countries. Conferences will be held at universities and other educational institutions to create an interest in what I have to offer. I'm not so much pitching a product as I am offering a helping hand to people that need to find work. And that's why my services are free. But obviously I stand to gain something from this too. But we'll get to that later. The third and final element of the reinvestment community is the reinvestment. This is also what makes this concept so interesting. The goal here is to encourage people that have already settled in the Netherlands to help those that still have to. Coming to the Netherlands, especially from a third world country, is an enormous change, and people underestimate that. While for some expats integration seems to be no problem, for the vast majority the barriers between the Dutch culture and their culture are enormous. The language for a start, social norms and cultural differences make it extremely difficult for foreigners to be at home in the Netherlands. And what better way is there to overcome these obstacles than to seek the advice of somebody who has already done it and succeeded? Reinvestment. A lot sits between recruitment and reinvesting, but everything gets done with the intention of giving something back. So one has to analyze what an expat needs to be happy and to function properly. He'll need a happy home environment. He'll need a contented partner. He'll need a house for this happy environment. He'll need a job that he likes. And he'll need social interaction in and outside of the workplace. Social interaction could be found by means of sporting activities, eating out, or education in the form of language courses, musical courses, or vocational improvement. An extremely important part behind a contented employee is a contented partner. Should this employee have a partner, this partner's happiness is incredibly important to the functioning of that employee. The partner's needs can be addressed by means of courses such as language courses, crafts and hobby courses, or cooking courses. These courses will also provide valuable social communication and social interaction. ASML is a forerunner in helping expats settle in Holland. They have an entire department that does everything from applying for visas to finding houses and helping partners to find meaningful things to do with their time. My concept aims to use this well-established infrastructure to build a community that extends way beyond the borders of ASML. I hope to help tech companies, big and small, to get their employees settled and functioning in Holland. The dream is to create a community of foreigners that helps one another to integrate into Dutch society, thereby bridging the gap between locals and expats. I see the shortage of technical skill in the Netherlands as a great way to boost creativity and international success. The creativity in design and development will be helped because different nationalities have to work together, learning to understand one another on the way. Greater international reach can be achieved by sending these integrated foreigners back to their homelands, be it for the short or long term. They will prove to be an asset for helping Dutch companies settle in these countries and can in turn be a start of a program of integration in these countries. My concept of the reinvestment community. The start will be helping expats to find their feet in Holland. This will be time and labor intensive in the beginning, because I will be conducting a real life experiment. I will have to be connecting with companies like ASML and Philips to gauge what expats want and need, whilst helping expats to start their own integration process. The integration process is probably the most important aspect of settling in the Netherlands. To start with, I will need to find a good Dutch language course. The second element will be developing a good integration course, because the Dutch inburgeringscursus may be good for teaching non-Western expats to learn some Western culture, but it is unsuitable for the highly educated. This is largely because most of what is taught in this inburgeringscursus is already taken care of by the employer. This new course that will need to be developed will aim to help expats enjoy their new home country. Language is an enormous part of this integration. Even if foreigners are only in the Netherlands for a short while, learning basic communication skills is an enormous icebreaker. Dutch locals are much more helpful and receptive to those that are seen to be trying to fit in. A mandatory part of Dutch culture is riding a bicycle. Expats need to be taught that a bicycle is the best way to get around in the city centre. It is fun, healthy and cheap. Foreigners need to be helped to find a bike, be taught the rules of the road and be encouraged to use their bike. A lovely way to introduce this culture in Brabant is to do a summertime beer tour. Expats can be shown the many breweries in Brabant and can make a lovely day out of cycling and beer tasting. Dutch food is another big one on the to-do list. Many foreigners have no idea what to expect from Dutch cuisine. A trip to a cafe followed by the chip shop is a great and enjoyable way for expats to experience Dutch culture. So how does all of this come together? All of this will be arranged via the reinvestment community. A website and app will both be developed to help expats, new and old, to arrange meetings and find events. They will be able to find everything they need to keep themselves entertained and to continue on their journey of education and integration. As I said earlier, I would get back to my earning model. Every expat will have a list of needs. I can use this community of foreigners to gauge their needs and can in turn provide paid services for them. I will earn affiliate commissions on services such as a home, a car, storage facilities, taxi services, language courses, integration courses and hobby courses. Appropriate advertising can also be placed on the website to help expats find what they need. And lastly, commissions can be earned from big companies because I will be lightening their workload by providing services that they aim to provide but don't have the time to do.